Buckley. Sandu onto it. He gives to Cinnavori. Threw it right through the slot, edge of the blue ice. Van Acker will pick it up on the far side. Rosetto back for Van Acker. Gives to O'Brien for Van Acker. They score! Pretty passing from the Bulldogs. Very.
O'Brien through the left circle, working away from Buckley. O'Brien pulls up out high. Has a look back to the line. Moore quickly on to Protz. Protz to the slot for Rosetto. Dies out. O'Brien scores! Jacob.
He just whistled that one out wide of the far post. Half the power play gone by. Another chance, Van Acker, and he fanned on it. Shooting gallery for the Bulldogs as O'Brien picks up the puck. Gives it back to Hammer, a high slot. Rebound, they score! Merrick Van Acker on the doorstep opens the scoring for the Bulldogs.
Tried to send it front, Yedachek blocked it. Still 43 seconds. Morelli from the top. Low is Seneca for Griffin. Met there by Jake O'Brien. O'Brien will go wide to the captain, and the captain is going to put the nail in it. 5 points in the game. Numbers all over the line. It's Rogowski, save Igorov. Moore guides it away from trouble. Testa twists. He's got Van Acker with him. Testa guides through the middle of the ice. His drive safe. Rebound O'Brien. Back out front. Scores! Luca Testa! To the top. Lardis. O'Brien. Return middle. Back over to the left side. Hamra with room to skate. Hamra. Half wall. To O'Brien. High on the left. They'll exchange. O'Brien up front. They score! Jake O'Brien tossed it into the crowd. Did not. Ritchie again for Morelli. Back to Ritchie. Across for Barlow. Blocked off by O'Brien. O'Brien will settle the puck for Lardis. In behind Morelli. Lardis pulls up. He got it. The Bull. We just got to look at Jacob Therrien with the whack to the back of the leg of Tommy Budnick. Hamra floats it in off the line. O'Brien out front. Van Acker couldn't kick it to his stick. Bouncing puck. Lardis tries. Scores! Nick Lardis! 11 seconds into the power play.
Protz, his shot stopped. Here's Wellenreiter down the right side. Jiricek getting back into position. And a good play by Protz to break up a threatening rush. Here's O'Brien back the other way. Testa sets, fires, he scores! Luca Testa.
Brown to the line. Lardis over to Hamra. Was able to step in on the left. Hamra pulls up. Had Wellenreiter coming right out to him. O'Brien for the middle of the line. Plays low to Brown. Back to Hamra walking on. Top of the slot is O'Brien. Scores! Jake O'Brien! Whistles. Guiding it off the skate of Kent Greer. Jake O'Brien shuttles it back to the line. Protz bangs it off the end wall. Stepping down is Moore. Low is Van Acker. Van Acker swings it to the right corner. O'Brien up front. Rosetto scores! Nicholas Rosetto! Blocked on its way through.
Lardis just took that little hesitation to see if it would open up.
Lardis again. Carried on wide short side.
Yeah, and Lardis' best 2 chances in this game so far, right there.
Hamra along the line to Thomas. Thomas right side. Backdoor O'Brien scores! Thomas to O'Brien.
That's a good year.
Is an outstanding season behind him?
Yes, yes. So, O'Brien, cross for Lardis. Shot along the ice. Pickles there, make that Schenkel, and it's pushed over the goal line. A power play goal, and the Bulldogs.
A scientific approach. They're just trying to whack the puck. See puck, whack puck. As Hamra over the line. Tripped down. Bulldogs have a power play. As O'Brien lays it back to Budnick for a drive. No, they won't. Tommy Budnick.
Tie each other up. Molnar gets the shot on net. Leanders is there with that stick save. Back the other way. They'll come. Brown clears it ahead. Nice toe drag. Backhand shot, and that's how you do it. Brantford takes a 1-0 lead. Draw, Ferran can't pull that one back. Turnaround and kept out of the zone now in a 2-on-1 scenario developing with DeAngelis, the last one back. Lets it go to that side, and they score to make it 4-1 on a play that got away.
Defenseman,
Plays with such poise and maturity out there.
yeah. He's going to get smarter as he gets more experience as well, too.
Now here's a strong rush by Van Acker in behind the goal. Wraparound attempt. A rebound, scores. That's Lardis with goal number 71.
This one will be settled down here by O'Brien. Van Acker on the counterattack, 2-on-1, swept in front, nicely tied up there by Kluche. Great work on the back check. Papineau sprawling. They'll dig at it. I think he stopped O'Brien. Van Acker in front. O'Brien scores. Out of all the chaos at both ends, Jake O'Brien. Shifting out of the circle. Back to the point, fires it on through. Knocked down by Van Acker. And the second Brantford goal in this game, and he rolls over the top. Van Acker down the left side. Tries to go back and behind it. Looking for the wraparound chance. Great save. Papineau, they bang in the rebound. It's O'Brien right in the blue paint. Van Acker. Leanders drops it back off here for Hamara. O'Brien and Lardis out here on the power play. Lardis has the puck. And O'Brien's going to carry it in. Dished off. Here's Cole Brown. Put back in front. Looking for Lardis. He scores. It's a power play goal, and Nick Lardis finds. Railroaded there by Forgione. Nick Sema in front of the Saginaw bench. Tomas Hamara off the end boards. Budnick, home run pass reeled in by O'Brien. Now Van Acker 2-on-1 alone. Here's a chance. They score. Second line does it again. Nicholas Rosetto. They get it right. O'Brien settles down inside 9 to go here in this one. Almost gave it away. And then Van Acker takes it out of danger, and O'Brien from skate to stick. Leaving this one in. Barnes trying to lift the stick. O'Brien taking guys to the net. He scores! O'Brien for the hat trick with Spirit players draped all over him.
Hamara. Lardis had come all the way out high on the left. Now rotates back to his spot on the right. Hamara from the top. Plays on to the left side, O'Brien. O'Brien spins away from Partridge. Handles across the front for Thomas. They score!
That whole play was watching Patrick Thomas.
As Patrick Thomas will lean in opposite of Gavin Bryant. Hamara to the top. Moore dropping it along to O'Brien. O'Brien tosses front. Oh, Patrick Thomas scores! That was downright gorgeous.
Thomas.
O'Brien
O'Brien might look to go for the change here as well.
Yep. He'll drop it back to Thomas with Lardis coming over the boards.
They gone end-to-end a couple times on that shift, so.
Thomas over the line. Drop his Lardis with space. Lardis scores! 66 is the winner! Hamara, Lardis, one-timer. Blocked off by Danford. Oh, that was brave. Lardis again, right circle. Turns back, has Hamara over his shoulder. Has the look. Lardis fires and scores! Nick Lardis!
Key going with Lardis, O'Brien, Brown, Thomas, and Hamara here on the power play. Near side for Brown. Brown will carry it up the wall. Now feeds Lardis and he scores! His second.
That's Brown. Kodreg snapped, shot missed. Back to Lardis at the right point. Lardis, left circle over there. O'Brien for Hamara. Back again, O'Brien. In front, deflected, they score. Patrick Thomas got a piece, and it's a 2-1 dog.
In the corner now. Played here by O'Brien, but cleared by Peterborough. Stonehouse down the right wing, over the blue line. Checked, and the puck is chipped to center. O'Brien is there, 3-on-1. O'Brien, this should be fun. Shot, they score. Going upstairs, Merrick Van Acker. Hamara leaves it for Lardis to O'Brien. Back and forth.
Down low. Hamra with it. Across. Lardis shoots, and he scores. That's number 60 for Nick.
Used to success of late.
Yep, they'll get the, they'll draw something up a little different, I think, in between periods. Leander's smart play there as Greyhounds had 2 forwards coming around on the backside of that dump in.
Leaners with a brilliant pass forward. O'Brien on to Lardis. Scores! Ryerson Leaners. Brilliant play coming up the rink.
Folks saw just a moment ago by Nick Lardis.
O'Brien deals the puck out high to Hamra. Right side is Lardis. Lardis pulls back up. Hamra waits. Into the crowd. Scores! Tomas Hamra on a sizzler. Puck battled for along the wall.
25 seconds. Yep.
It's a rugby scrum. Budnick comes out from it. Minyosa stolen away by Thomas. On to Jake O'Brien for the empty net. He got it! Thomas to Lord.
In behind that Ice Dogs goal, and Brantford looking for some time and space behind the net. Jake O'Brien centering attempt. Protz. Doherty without his stick, and now it's in behind Owen Flores. So 3-2.
Hamra works middle. His drive deflected wide. Thomas tapping it onto O'Brien. To the blue line is Hamra. Back onto O'Brien for the right side. Brings it low. Thomas with a look out. Back across the front. O'Brien put it on the tee. Tic-tac goal! What a feed from Jake O'Brien. Back.
Good reach, 6'2". And good instincts, as you noted, Reed, on that intercept that pass.
Brown runs it out to the point. Hamra. Backside O'Brien emerges in the left circle. O'Brien to the front. Had Brown swept back. Thomas to Brown, and it's into the net. Left circle. Dealt it across the front. That is a type of hockey of which I know quite well. Hamra to Van Acker. Budnick, left circle. Out front, O'Brien scores! Tommy Budnick on the delivery. Jake O'Brien taps it in. O'Brien, Lardis, and Hamra.
Yeah, I think Jamie Key's sending a bit of a message here. Read into that what you want, folks.
Tomas Hamra, middle of the line, playing off to Nick Lardis. Scores!
As evidenced by their standings, second in the 2 conferences here. Here's O'Brien. You got to be keeping an eye on him. Chance in front, loose puck. They'll score, and that is Van Acker in front of the net. And
O'Brien to the top. Hamra steps on. Wanted Lardis. It went through Brown's skates. Lardis, great feed back to Hamra. O'Brien, the open man. O'Brien with the look, down low Brown, walks the goal line, tries to stuff play, back across Lardis, he scores! It's history for Nick Lardis! Playing off for Misa. Misa trying to skip loose off the wall, drop is Epperson, out front, taken away by Lardis. Patrick Thomas looking to break forward, could be 3-on-2. Lardis on the drop, O'Brien, Van Acker make it 4, they score! Tic-tac goal! Out high, wanted Hamra, it got through him and into neutral ice. Nick Lardis, right side, sending it around the back. Bounces past Thomas, O'Brien, Brown to Lardis. Lardis waits and fires and scores!
Wow.
It's 49 for 16.
Musty will gather in. Got to get a shot away. Hughes will let that one go. And they catch it back in. No, they don't. Working down, Lardis. And he scores as he picks the far corner. The penalty had expired, so loses his footing as he tried to reach back and grab that puck. Give and go, and it's Adam Juracek. Juracek up. Onto the far side now. Little drop pass back to Lardis, and boy, wow, he is quick. He has got incredible hands, number 16. O'Brien back to the point for Nick Lardis. Over to O'Brien, give and go. They'll just do that for the next 5 minutes or so, and now they'll work it into the corner. Lardis makes it 4. Count them, 4. He's got 4 so far, 4 goals thus far for number 16. Quick shot, blockers stop. And for Lardis, back he goes to Jake O'Brien, and they score again. Make it 9-3.
Puck comes back to the blue line. There's a shot through traffic, deflected wide of the net. Spencer Evans trying to pick up the rebound, battling against Thomas. It comes loose. Back to the blue line it goes. Mara cross ice pass in front, they score! Thomas parked all alone at the side of the net. Nothing Lalonde could do there. All right. Mignosa picked up a misconduct. There's a shot, they score! Thomas at the side of the net. And just like that, the Bulldogs.
Here's Wellenreiter. Back to the line. Turley. Smart right pad save by Leenders, kicking that one away. Here's Testa. Ahead. It's Van Acker. He scores. And then Van Acker is sent.
This one out. Luca Testa. Testa with a backhand pass. Blocked by Armstrong. Puck goes behind the net. Armstrong peels back behind the goal, being chased there by Testa. Has to be careful, gives it up. Chance, and they looks like it's in. Yes, it's a goal. Van Acker. As Ethan Armstrong on this power play as it's back to Hamara. Hamara leaving it for Lardis. That pass deflected. Colt's trying to get to it. Puck's loose. O'Brien near side. Decides to go around the net. Passing it to Lardis. Shot, scores! Nick Lardis, his 40th of the season.
So good, and so is his older brother. I'd love to see the two of them on a line together.
Right?
How about that?
How about those two and Ovechkin?
Oh, God. You got me dreaming. He'll have broken the record by then, I think.
I think so.
Here come the Bulldogs. Breakaway chance here. Scores. Beautiful finish for a 1-0 lead as the Bulldogs in front of Jovanovski. Bulldogs holding serve behind the netminder Igorov, getting the nod for them tonight. Near side up the ice, outlet feed from Protz. It gets tipped in. Whoa, that rolled on Jovanovski. No, it's in. Oh, no.
Play. Flores will settle it. Flores off glass. Handled down by Brown. Brown playing it back to Lardis. Lardis to the top of the right circle. Low to Thomas. Thomas back to the top. Yedicek steps on. Backside O'Brien. They score! Oh, sweeping symphony of. Thomas along the line to Nick Lardis. In the middle of the line is Adam Yedicek. Yedicek with a little fake. Pulls Robrick towards him. Plays off to Lardis. Right back. Now to O'Brien. Open on the left. O'Brien shot. In front. Scores. Patrick Thomas has a 5-point night. That'll spring Griffin. Working at Yedicek. Griffin can't get through Yedicek, who spins the puck away. 11 seconds left in the Ritchie penalty. Lardis forward. Over the line onside for Thomas. O'Brien. Tic-tac goal! Merrick Van Acker! That was
as it's centered out front, rolling up O'Brien, and a big block there by Luke Torrance to get the leg down. Turning with it, Yuracek. He falls off the check from Griffin. Here's another chance, and Yuracek scores. Peels in front to the slot. Behind him, Ritchie and Van Acker, of course, back out after serving their minor penalties. 50 seconds remain on the power play as Yuracek plays it back for Hamara. Hamara ran into a wall of Jens, but breaking through, O'Brien finds Thomas and scores! Face-off won by Ritchie. Weighing onto it. He gets spun down, though. Testa comes away with it. Looks out front. Yuracek pulls back the shot. Testa with a pick on Ritchie. Looks out front. They score! And Ritchie is incensed. Is he?
We got to find that, show that one if we get a chance. Here's a chance right now for the Bulldogs, but you just never know, right? Years later. Here's Brown across. Out in front, back door, they score! Patrick Thomas.
Corner. Nick Lardis around the back of the net. Taken by Jake O'Brien. On for Cole Brown. To the top on the right side is Lardis. Low, Thomas. Back to the top, Lardis into the right circle. Save made Nelson. Puck pops loose. O'Brien scores. It takes just 20.
Hamara knocked wide of the net. A little bit of weirdness in this hockey game here tonight. O'Brien, cross ice, Van Acker chance, he scores! Merrick Van Acker scores, and the Brantford Bulldogs.
High slot, a lot of room to work with. Rising puck, re-grab back by Thomas. To the blue line, it will stay in the zone. Power play comes to an end. Either team 0 for 1 so far. Worked in, mid-slot, opportunity, right in front, they score! Bulldogs strike first, nearly 9 minutes into this one, and it's a one. Pretty frustrated with the decision made by the officials there. Top of the right circle, moving its way left wing side. O'Brien nearly with a great opportunity. O'Brien shoves it right wing side. They score. Nick Lardis power play goal. And the Bulldogs.
Again, it's a one-goal game, right? So you can climb back into it with one shot. And the Otters will look to do that here, but the momentum, you can really feel it with Brantford at the moment.
Worked over right wing side, they score! Nick Lardis, that's 2 in the period, and it's a 4-2 lead for the Brantford Bulldogs.
Dishes it across to Lardis. Lardis, diagonal pass into the near corner for O'Brien that hopped on him. He squeezed on the wall. Lardis gets it at the left point, top of the circle. Down to O'Brien. O'Brien cross crease, scores! Off of a skating in. It'll go to Jake O'Brien and Leonard a shot on net. Rebound Crawford. And it was denied. Now Crombie carrying it ahead. Stretching to stay onside was Van Acker. Good job out in front. Scores! Quick reply as Jake O'Brien's got another one. And the Bulldogs are really good U16 action going on. The annual Toronto Marlboros Holiday Tournament is happening, where you'll find a ton of the best U16 players. As Hamura, nice find, Van Acker scores! Absolutely beautiful there. Lardis, Hamura, back over to O'Brien, steps in, fires Kaprowski the save, big rebound, Kaprowski stopped that one. Lunging out to deny Lardis. All Bulldogs here, this power play. Pouring it on, they score! Oh, it's just a matter of time, and Nick Lardis.
Avery trying to kick that puck out of skates. Now twists it into the offensive zone. O'Brien to challenge Graham McCauley. And O'Brien steals the puck down low. Spins it out front for Avery. Scores! Jake O'Brien! How in the world did he get that puck? Hammer wouldn't have had time to turn that into a 2-on-1. As O'Brien out high on the right side, spins away from McGregor Richmond. Plays off for Protz, off of a leg. That was Witkowski's block. Now Lucas Moore for the tip, they score! He sets one and scores the next! Sent all the way back down the rink. Hamra pulls wide. To O'Brien at center red. He'll flash it wide. Thomas handles it down. Backside Cole Brown. His drive, save, rebound. O'Brien scores!
Gonna hold that puck in behind the net. And
well, now he's going to escape himself into neutral ice.
Get going here.
Viticek over the line, tried to work through two, got on to Thomas. Backside, Brown steps down, backhand, save made by Lewan. They score!
No goal.
Oh boy, we had this happen before the Bulldogs could make it. Very dangerous. Battaglia, met by O'Brien. Juronen cuts out of the circle. Bouncing off of Merrick Van Acker. Now Owen Protz wants to get up in the play. three wide. Protz to O'Brien. They score shorthanded.
Time right now. Martone, quick pass in the middle, looking for Van Bolsen. Centering pass in front. Here on the power play, Zach Bodenstein, Brendan Lang, Mike Karafalidis here at the CAA Center. And a big game between the Bulldogs and Steelheads. Off the draw, they score! Patrick Thomas ties it on the power play.
It's up to 14th in the Ontario Hockey League. Here comes Andrew Wysick, and Ice Dogs have authored 4 shorthanded goals. Lardis coming back with O'Brien. It's a 2-on-1. Lardis will slide one across. Great save by Flores. They score on the rebound. The follow-up was by a right out front, looking for deflection. Levin all by himself, but the pass hopped over his stick. Levin with a shot, and that one hit Robrick out front, and Hamara had to defend Robrick. Lead pass, Avery in, 2-on-1. O'Brien going to the net. Avery, O'Brien, they score! Well, that's transition. That is.
Puck played on to Jake O'Brien. Rink wide. It's Van Acker. Pulled up in the left corner and got dropped by Gowan. Jake O'Brien off the wall after Lavoie stepped in. Scores! Wow. Oh my goodness gracious! Jake O'Brien!
Leanders out of his net to play it. He'll leave it there for Hamara. Hamara staying with it, passing that one across. Picked up there by O'Brien. O'Brien drops it back to Lardis. Lardis takes the shot, scores! What a shot from Nick Lardis. That was a bullet.
Thomas, Lardis, and Hamara. 4 NHL drafted and a top prospect. Hamara, the Ottawa pick. Down for O'Brien, the prospect. He'll slide it in. Down low and off, and D'Amato and in. It was an intended pass by Sposel. Number 2 General D are in the box right now. As Lardis has got it. Hamara for O'Brien. O'Brien, Hamara scores! They'll back off of things.
4-on-3, lots of ice.
This is the second time this game we've seen a 4-on-3 power play. O'Brien walks in, shoots, and it rolls over the glove of Oster. Brown was on the doorstep.
Dangerous player. O'Brien over the line, right side. Brown whipping it around the back. Comes all the way through to Thomas. For O'Brien. He'll catch it down. Lardis, right circle, holds up. Plays back to the top. Hamara into the pile, scores! Tomas Hamara. Ritchie spins it around the wheel, taken down by Lardis. Saucers it high on the right, O'Brien. To Hamara, Bulldogs get set. Hamara's drive, deflected over the top. Thomas batted it out of the air. O'Brien, Lardis, save made by Oster, rebound, scores! Jake O'Brien, Bulldogs are
back right out. He's playing the left point and will be the closest player to Seneca.
Cole Brown runs the puck back to the point. Prot steps inside on Sinavari, scores! Cole Brown on the doorstep!
Side for Faulkner over the blue line. Bryant, the trailer, comes in, shoots, and that got blocked and quickly up the other way. Here come the Bulldogs making their way in. Patrick Thomas out towards the slot. Puck bouncing around. Thomas waits. What a pass. They score. What a play. Finished off by former Pete Nick.
Or Brantford Bulldog as well for Nick Lardis.
Chicago has some really good prospects in the Ontario Hockey League that are going to be Blackhawks.
Hamara keeps the puck in. Set up again for Lardis. Lardis, shot saved by Flores. Rebound, he scores! Power play, goal.
McGregor Richmond up the wall. Mason Zabeski twirls. Skate the stick from O'Brien as he'll start it back. Roberts up for Cole Brown. Touched into the offensive zone. O'Brien will sprint after it out front for Zachary Lavoie. Backside, tic-tac goal! Oh, this line for the Bulldogs. Pulls up, swings it across for Lardis. Lardis sets Hamra from the top, through the pile, off back glass.
Got to keep an eye on Zidlitsky, leads the Steelheads with a couple shorthanded goals.
Thomas from below the goal line, feeds O'Brien, didn't see what he wanted there. Backside, what a pass! Jake O'Brien, the line for Lardis. Lardis walking into a little bit of space. His pass backside for O'Brien was tipped. O'Brien collects, works it up the wall. Hamra to the front, played on for Brown. Now O'Brien to Lardis, he scores! Jake O'Brien with another sizzler of a feed. And on up ahead for Weigel. Weigel over the line on the right side, directs it to the corner boards. Nice play on for Patterson. Puck out high, but Lavoie was right there. He'll play it forward on the left side for Brown. Through the middle, O'Brien bats it down, spins on the backhand, and scores! Jake O'Brien.
Scramble draw in the Steelhead zone. Lardis picks it up. Thomas will play it back for Hamra, and the Bulldogs have it set up. Hamra gets the pass from Lardis, plays it over to O'Brien. He looks to the goal, plays it down low, pass in front, they score! Patrick Thomas, and it's 2-1 Bulldogs. Here's Hamra. Works it down low, looking for a pass option in front. Hamra is going to hold on to it, send it to Lardis. Over on the far side for Patrick Thomas, the captain. Hamra thought about the shot, plays it down low. O'Brien scores! What a rip from Jake O'Brien, and has really been a force since being acquired from the Peterborough Petes. It was one of those trades kind of like the Martone-McDonnell one, where one team goes all in, the other gives up a promising young player. Big hit by Fibiger there in open ice, but it creates a 2-on-1. O'Brien scores! Second of the game for Jake O'Brien, and it's goal. Heads are set up 6-on-5. Harding's shot was blocked by Nick Lardis, who's certainly a threat to get an empty netter with that speed and that hockey sense. Misa intercepted by Lardis, and here he goes. Lardis over to O'Brien, and Jake O'Brien has the hat trick. 6-3 for the Bulldogs.
Into shape.
Lucas Moore changing on the back. O'Brien tapping it for Lardis. Over the line, kept everybody on side for Brown. Laid it low. Shanowski stops up. Traffic in back of the net. Thomas out front for Brown. He scores! The adjustment made to the power play. Down the river it goes.
That power play goal by the Bulldogs in the first, just their second and 38 opportunities on home ice.
Hamra stepping through a stick. Over the line, O'Brien for Lardis. Scores! Nick Lardis, the pullback, and he rips it. O'Brien leaning in for the draw, and
the Bulldogs have got to find a way to get themselves shaken out of whatever this is. But, you know, honestly, full credit to Niagara.
Oh, Zachary Lavoie off the draw. He's been active. Leaders trying to give the Bulldogs every opportunity to get back into this one. O'Brien, right circle, wanted to leave that off. Got intercepted, Lavoie holds it in. Left circle, Brown stepping inside. His shot, rebound, scores! Big save from Ryerson leaders. Jake O'Brien. Go. More up ahead to Lavoie. Swept down, Erlitten. Along the wall, O'Brien cuts it off. Backside, space for Lavoie. Scores! It's a tie game! Zachary Lavoie! O'Brien shoveling over to Protz. Aiden O'Donnell onto the rink for his first shift in the OHL. And the puck's going to come right to him. Lets it run past him to O'Brien. Hamra snapping it to the front. They score! Welcome back, Tomas Hamra!
They have got that, and Stales got that from, but Babin, of course.
You're referring to the newest inductee to the Hamilton Sports Hall of Fame, and Steve Stales.
I am exactly referring to that guy.
As Cole Brown has that one trickle wide out front. O'Donnell scores!
On the 14th shot he's faced in here tonight.
So the Bulldogs will have a face-off to the right of Elliott. They'll win the draw. Quick shot just fired wide of the mark. Courtesy of Roberts. Now tipped in front of it. They score! A late goal!
Bats it down, left side, playing middle. Hayes put that one up and over the top. Here's this line again for the Fronts. Jake O'Brien, left side, Luca Testa steps through Ewens, left circle, Testa, save Lalonde, rebound, scores! Jake O'Brien! It's Roberts, left side, to the front again. Brown tried to find it, LeBlanc dove back to interrupt him. Roberts from the left to show him with a block. Protz keeps it alive on the right. Protz with a look, out front, Brown, now O'Brien, scores! Jake O'Brien roofs it!
Mansky just say about me? I don't look 100%. Well, how about a little bit of this? And if he'd finished it, Alan, I never would have went for this.
Thankfully, though, here we go. As Jake O'Brien will take that long stretch pass, he waits left side of the net. Testa scores. How often have we seen a chance at one end comes back the other way?
His rink-wide pass off a stick. Lardis tries to poke it in deep. Muse looking to hold it up. 22 seconds left to go in the too-many-men penalty. Here's a chance for O'Brien. Can't tee up the shot. There's a pass right out in front. What a stop by McKenzie! They're calling it a goal.
Career rate, 5 goals in 6 games. Drafted 46th overall by the Sting this past year.
Found money. Lardis to the middle of the ice for Lavoie on his backhand. Twisted out front. Lardis, backside O'Brien. Tick, tack, goal.
Nick Lardis rotating back into the Brantford zone, plays it through his own feet. Now the self-chip around Graham. Lardis over the line, works wide onto the right, plays it back. Protz off the bench, backside Thomas. Tick, tack, goal! Jake O'Brien in front. That was magic. Steps to the puck. They'll scrape it back to the blue line. Roberts sends it wide of the net. Savosel wrapping it around. Stepping up was Chen. Graham A-framed. Puck stayed onside. O'Brien, he's got Lavoie working to the slot. O'Brien up front, scores! Jake O'Brien took that